Reddit, what are some fun things to do on New Year's Eve if you're not a big party goer / under 21? Story 1. I'm switching from Farming Simulator 2018 to Farming Simulator 2019. Story 2. My son and his friends have always spent New Year's with me. We play board games and beat on pots and pans at midnight. My son turned 18 this year and I expected they would skip it this year, but they are all planning on being here and playing board games. LOL, now they are bringing their girlfriends. Story 3. This is my core group of friends. We all used to gather at my parents' place since we were all 15 to 16 years old. Continued through university. It's now been greater than 20 years we've been doing this. Things have changed, it's now wives, husbands and our kids ranging in age from 10 down to newborns. Some new faces have joined, some moved on, but the core has kept it going. I recently got a job that takes me out of town every 2 weeks, and this year the schedule falls on me being on shift. My buddy is super bummed I won't be there, keeps messaging I should have taken the time off. Well, that's what everyone except my wife thinks is happening. About to leave the house and surprise the gang. Can't wait to see all their faces. Have had this planned for over 3 months. Story 4. My brother is coming over with Pizza Hut and his Switch and we're gonna play Smash tonight. Story 5. Check with your local bowling places and see if they have a New Year's Eve special. A few years ago I went with my family, my teenage son and 2 of his friends, myself, my early 20s daughter and her boyfriend. The price included unlimited bowling, pizza and pop. There was beer available and champagne at midnight for the adults. I had to coax them because they thought it would be lame, but by the time we left at 1 a.m., they all were raving about how much fun they had. Story 6. For the last 3 years I have done the same thing. At around 10 p.m. I find a random person on a game on Xbox, then I play with them all night, then never talk them again. Story 7. Visit an older relative or give them a call to wish them a happy new year, especially if you didn't get to see them for the holidays. It may take just a few minutes / hours of your time, but it will mean the world to the person you're visiting / calling. Story 8. I have a tradition of writing down all the terrible things from the previous year and setting it on fire. It can be anything you want to leave behind going into the new year. This can easily be done alone or with a few close friends. It just feels nice watching all that negativity turn to ash. Story 9. As someone that has always been let down by big New Year's Eve events, I now either just hang out with some friends and play games and not pay attention to the time. Or I stay home. Have a bunch of appetizers for dinner and go to bed by 10:30. Haven't been let down by low-key night yet. Story 10. Under or over 21. Doesn't really matter. I had a group of friends that we all would make sandwiches and buy chips and water and drive around our city and hand them out with any spare blankets any of us had to anyone without accommodations. I moved, but plan on restarting that tradition. Really helped to frame priorities going into the new year. Story 11. Sleep. Very fun and would recommend. Story 12. I'm not sure if these count as partying, but I'm not a huge club goer, so my friends and I like to have fun in other ways, such as, but not limited to, weird food betting. If you have exotic grocery stores anywhere nearby, pick up a bunch of the weirdest food you can find. Preferably things you've never heard of or tasted before. Play any game that requires betting. The loser has to pick a food out of the pot and taste it. It's fun because sometimes the food is actually really tasty and sometimes it's horrifically bad. Inflatable or trampoline party. Some areas have active play party venues that have trampolines, inflatables, obstacle courses, etc. Oftentimes, they have specials for New Year's that are always a good time. Host an overly fancy tea party. Make sure to include cucumber sandwiches, scones, and mini sweets. Ask everyone to dress up as snobby as possible and only speak in your snobbiest accent all night. Play board games in character. I have more if people are interested, but I understand that most of these things are stupid and require some amount of effort, so they aren't feasible for a lot of people. Edit, requests for more have been made. More below. RC Car Monster Truck Rally. Put together a shitty monster truck arena with dirt and whatever free crap you find laying around / online. Have each participant bring their RC car. Encourage bullshit modding and decor. Play metal music while battling your cars. You can find cheap RC cars on Amazon. Attempt to make raindrop cakes. It's stupidly hard for something that contains less than 5 ingredients and the results are often hilariously disappointing. If you live near a body of water, attempt to make small boats out of biodegradable materials, either purchased or foraged. Don't litter. See if any of them actually float. If they do, Throw rocks at them to try and sink them. Have a chopped/iron chef-style competition using only easy bake ovens and children's play cooking utensils. If you have cattails growing in your area, wait until they are about to go to seed and use them to have a battle royale. They explode dramatically upon contact. You win if your cattail explodes upon striking your opponent. Don't wail on each other too hard, though. It doesn't take a lot for them to explode. Wear safety gear just in case. Football uniforms with safety glasses work well for this. Play Mario Party, but the people in the room are only allowed to communicate by making their best impression of their character's default catchphrase. For instance, different inflections of YHOO for Luigi or random Yoshi noises. This gets extra fun if you get your friends to do shitty cosplay of their character as well. Anyone who breaks the rule must either drink, or grab a weird food out of the weird food pile depending on whether alcohol is involved or not. Story 13. I'm planning on drinking some magic mushroom tea with my wife and giggling at local fireworks from the safety of my living room. Story 14. Something to do that's fun, but is a much better idea before 10 o'clock or so to avoid drunk drivers, is play a game called Hostage. You split into teams of 3 to 5 or so, doesn't really matter, you just have to be able to all fit into one car. One person is designated as the driver for each team. Then after that, drivers switch to other groups so that all the original members except the drivers are together. The teams plus their new driver get into a car, everyone but the driver gets blindfolded, and then from there, the drivers have 15 minutes to drive the people in their new group to any location within the determined boundaries, and at the end of the 15 minutes, everyone but the driver get out of the car and remove the blindfolds. The driver now has to use only their phone, no maps, sharing location, or any sort of navigation other than just talking on the phone, to talk with and find their original team and get back to the starting point. The first full team to get back and to the original starting place wins. A couple of things to change the game a little bit is sometimes, if people don't want to play as much, a person from the original team can be a navigator to help keep the driver focused. Sometimes we let them use the map on their phone in order to find better ways to get to places, again, not using the navigation. Along with this, you can add or subtract time or play with no boundaries. Story 15. My family always hosted a party for friends and family who lived close by, so they wouldn't have to drive home amid all the drunk drivers right after the turn of the year. We'd play board games and have snacks set out, and would make a big pot of chili to share with everyone cause it was cheap and could fill up a big group. I think New Year's is my favorite holiday now just because I love that tradition so much. Story 16. I'm 26, and I've never been into parties or drinking. My boyfriend and I will probably binge watch shows, eat some yummy leftovers, share a kiss at midnight and continue binging shows. Story 17. My friend and I used to get together and play board games. Monopoly never ended well, by the way. In college, we started the tradition of watching The Return of the Jedi and falling asleep before they go to Ender. This happens 7 more times. In some states, fireworks are legal. Be sure you are safe if you are going to blow something up. I believe 18 is the purchase age. We set fireworks off in NJ one time. That was really fun. I'm planning on being alone this year, so I'm going to make a plan for my resolution 500 mile in 1 year. Lose weight, artwork, reading ECT. I might drive down to the beach to sit on a beach and watch the new year come in. 1.5-hour drive. Silly, I know, but I love the shore. Cook something awesome for yourself, something you wouldn't normally do. It's going to be raining here tonight, so I might take a walk in the rain with some bubbly or tea as a cleansing experience. There's something very cathartic about rain. Story 18. Going to the movies with some friends is always fun. 9 times out of 10, the theater is pretty empty. Especially the closer to midnight the showing is. Video games or late-night dinner with friends is also a very good option. I don't drink or party either, so these are usually my options.